Hey guys, Daniel here. Before we get to the video, I just wanted to let you all know I have a discount code for select EVGA products, such as graphics cards and motherboards. When you click the link in the description of any of my videos, my associate code is applied to your card upon checkout. If you do purchase something using my code, I do receive a little commission. Click the link in the description to learn more. What's up everybody, Daniel here. Welcome back for a brand new video. Today we are finally going to be building another PC. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get to another PC build video, but today we're going to get to one. We are going to be building my brother's gaming PC. He's actually going to build it. He'll be in the video a little later. Before we get to the build, we're going to go ahead and introduce the parts. We'll go from left to right here. Our power supply is a 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply by Cooler Master. It's the MWE model. RAM is a 32 gigabyte kit of Corsair Vengeance LPX. It's 3200 megahertz speed. Our boot storage is going to be a Kingston NVMe 250 gigabyte stick. This is going to help our OS boot as quickly as possible. Our CPU is the Intel Core i9 9900K. Our cooler, to help keep that thing cool, is the EVGA CLC280. That's going to keep this thing nice and cool. Our graphics card is the EVGA RTX 2070. This is the XC Ultra Edition, as you can see by that big ol' I/O bracket here and the chonky cooler that we have. Last but not least, we have a motherboard. This is the Gigabyte Z390M Gaming. Let's get going to the build. Go ahead and get the motherboard out of the box and just simply place it right on top of the box as your work surface.
Right now. All right, where's the
you're
orientation?
Yeah, just like that. So you're pretty much reading it as you would anything.
Just plant this CPU.
All right, get it out of there. Be very careful.
I definitely don't want to touch anything important. The cardboard. Oh, all right. Let's see here.
You have to lift these little flat. Okay, there you go.
Gotcha. Okay. Taking the brain. It's like the chip from Terminator. Okay.
People are too young to know that reference.
When are we ready to actually plant this thing? Because I got it. Still in the plastic.
You
which
can,
is good.
Yeah, keep it there. What you want to do is don't lift up on that. That's gonna pop away when we actually put the CPU in and we lower it down.
Okay.
You're going to press down on this, move it to the right, and lift it up. You want to free it from that little metal hook
Right there.
here.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
And just lift it up, and then lift the whole thing up.
Cool.
Make sure you do not touch anything in there,
All right.
because those are pins facing up.
Okay, and I know about the arrows. So arrow, like that, huh? Boom.
Yeah. So you have this little gold arrow here. You're gonna line that up with the big triangle here.
Okay. All right, let's do this as gently as possible without touching anything. Which way? There we go. All right.
You got your arrows? Your arrows aren't lined up.
Yeah, they are.
Are they? Yeah, there's an arrow. Okay. Just try and lay it as flat as possible. We're not in there. There we go. Make sure you always want to just give it a slight side-to-side wiggle. Make sure it doesn't move around. All right, now you can lower that thing. Make sure it falls under that torque screw, which it looks like it is. And then just swing that arm down and get it to slide under that hook that you freed it from.
Oh my god, this feels so...
It does feel like you're going to
God.
break something, but you're fine.
Okay. Oh, that felt so violent.
Pull that plastic cover off, and you're good now. So our CPU is installed.
Wow.
Probably not going to see the numbers on there, but that's all right.
This feels like we're creating life.
All right, next we can install our ramp. Go ahead and take that out of the package.
Sweet.
The important thing is to line up. It's got a keyway on it.
Yeah.
You're going to line it up with the notches. You see the two slots that look like they have metal reinforcement on it? Those are the two slots you're going to install them in.
So, this one and this one.
Yeah, but you're not doing a crucial part first. You have to hit these little clips. Make them away Okay. Flip it around.
Like that?
Yeah, because you weren't lined up before.
What? No way. No, like this, right?
Oh, I think you're right.
Ah,
This is the first kit where the part number stickers are actually facing outwards. All right, then you're going to press down.
This part is usually
Make sure you
nice
hear
and
the
stiff.
clicks.
Nice and stiff.
I heard some clicks.
I heard clicks.
Make sure these closed in. They did. All right, the next one you're going to do is the other black one, or the other black two clips there.
Oh. Can you edit out my breathing?
No, you can just not be anxious.
Breathing super heavy. All right, going down. Click, click.
Okay.
Oh, that looks so cool.
All right. Clap. And close the other two little clips down. We don't need those
Oh,
open.
that looks awesome.
All right.
So are the ones with the reinforced metal ones?
Those are. I really don't know why motherboards are laid out that way, but you're always installing the furthest slots away from the CPU. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm sure there's an electrical engineer that can probably explain down in the comments. If you are, please leave a comment so we can figure that out. I'll probably do some research and figure out why anyway. But let's install our boot stick, our boot SSD. All right, our Kingston NVMe SSD is out of the box. Go ahead and remove the screw that's holding down this heatsink and move that out of the way for us.
Oh, magnetic. Convenient.
You can just lift that off. You have to kind of angle it up and then you can pull it off. There you go. All right, so after you've taken out that heatsink, you're going to take out this Phillips head screw.
Now, go back in with it.
Kind of put it in at an angle. Angle it upwards. No, I think you got it. Yeah, you got it. And then just push it in. You should hear somewhat of a click, or you should feel it click in.
All right, like that.
Okay, and then just, it's kind of springy upwards, so you'll have to hold it down when you screw it in.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
That's not the right screw.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Right here.
No, it's not.
They're different?
There's different screws in there. I have screws.
Don't you raise your voice?
This is the screw. And just screw it until it just kind of stops turning. You don't want to over tighten anything here. Perfect. That's in. Now,
So fun.
let's put our heatsink back on. Where'd you put it? Make
Have to
sure
take
you
the strip off, or
yeah,
what?
make sure you take off that plastic adhesive. That's just protecting the cooling pad under it, or thermal pad. Sorry. All right, so we're gonna put the heatsink back on. Secure it down with our Phillips head screw. All right, we're secured. All right, the last thing that we need to do before putting the motherboard in the case is get the cooler backplate on there. So let's get that plastic bag of goodies out of there. And luckily, the Intel mounting bracket is already on the cooler pump housing. So all we need is this. That's for AMD.
Cool.
That ring there is for AMD processors. That's for Intel processors. That
Ooh, AMD's metal.
no,
Plastic.
that's for the back.
Okay.
But still, AMD's backplate is metal too. All right, so you're gonna lift up the motherboard. Nope, it doesn't go on the front. You're gonna lift up the motherboard, and these holes, or sorry, these pegs need to go into the holes on the back of the motherboard. You made the little threaded holes or pegs can slide in those slots that they're in, so you may need to move them around a little bit to get them to line up. Are they in?
Yeah.
All right. You're gonna want to hold it as you're laying it back down on your box here. Here, let's get out some of the mounting hardware. That's these guys here. Go ahead and open that little baggie. And put the threaded stud looking things into each hole. They should be.
Long threads?
Are they long and short on
Long and
either
short?
side? Yeah, those aren't.
Wait, different size.
Those aren't the right ones. Hold on. These are the. You got to find the ones that have the same size on each side. Thread in the metal pegs into those holes. We have all 4 of those metal pegs installed, just making sure they're fully secured now. All right, the cooler mounting hardware is ready. Now we're ready to install the motherboard into the case. All right, here's our case, the Cooler Master MB511L. We've already taken off the tempered glass side panel. All right, when you're installing your motherboard, you want to angle it pretty much just exactly how you are. Slide it nice. Actually, don't slide it. Maneuver it on in there very gently. Make sure you don't slide it across on any of the standoffs. You don't want to scratch the opposite side of the motherboard.
Oh, that's a terrible noise to hear.
Should be okay.
There it goes.
It's probably just a
that's
corner of the I/O shield getting caught and then springing back.
That's nice and centered.
Okay, yeah, I can see threads in our screw holes here. All right, let's get it secured. We're going to grab some of these screws out of our case hardware. Okay, we've got our case hardware. You just want to get the only Phillips head screws that are in there. There should be only one kind of Phillips head screw.
What are the circle grommets?
Those are for the SSD that you would mount on the back if you were going to mount them on the back.
So I got...
You'll need, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total Phillips head screws.
Is it? I mean, there's other type screws. There's these with the flat heads.
Okay, those are for an SSD. So the only ones you want are the ones that look like they have a little hexagonal, the hex head Phillips head screws here. Since we have a smaller motherboard than a full ATX, we actually need to move one of the standoffs. Luckily, the case has an M, the letter M, stamped on the internals of the case. I don't think you put it in the right spot.
You said M.
Is that an M?
There's 2 M's.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Here, let me test fit.
Oh. Whoa.
The right. Was that the right M?
Did we get the right M?
Yeah, it looks like we got the right M. I see a hole in there now.
Wait, what? Oh, I guess you're right.
Alright. So we have the standoffs in all the right places now. Let's get some Phillips head screws in them.
That's all we need to do is just change one?
Yeah. Yeah, we just got to move one. That was it. That was the only one that was missing one. Oh, she saw the camera. She ran away as fast as she could. Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Looks like all of them. Okay.
Maybe -1.
Next thing we can work on is the CPU cooler.
Sick.
So being that we have a big ol' 280 mil cooler, we have to mount it in the top of the case. I think the best way to mount it is having the fans act as an exhaust. Is the RAM blocking you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Okay, then I can just do this. Oh no, it's not.
Looks like we got a fitment issue. Our RAM is sitting a little too high, or our fans are sitting a little too low.
Yeah.
What we might have to do, or we'll figure it out. Something we had to do was put the 280 millimeter radiator up front because it just was interfering with our RAM here. It just would not fit. There was nothing we could do to get it to fit up here. So we moved it up front. We moved our ARGB fans to the top and the rear of the case to act as exhaust rather than intake. Our 280 mil cooler will be our source of intake air into the case. Now I think we're ready to install the cooler block onto our CPU. First, we need thermal paste. The thermal paste that was pre-applied on here was, I don't know what happened. Maybe my brother took the plastic cover off and lost it. Just, you know, being excited, getting new PC parts. Just simply not knowing what was there and what wasn't. Either way, we're going to put some thermal paste. We're going to get that secured on there.
Like that?
No, you want the EVGA logo, like, legible. Like that. There you go. So there's a few different methods you can use to put thermal paste on the CPU. You can do the grain of rice method, where you just do it the size of a grain of rice. You can do a pea-sized portion.
Okay.
Or you can do an X across the CPU. It's really up to you, whatever you have enough thermal paste for.
I don't like the idea.
Just make sure you stay on the CPU and don't get on the little green edges of it.
I like the idea of a...
That should be plenty.
A little piece size.
Because the hottest portion is the center of the CPU, with how Intel is designed. That's plenty. All right, go ahead and squish your thermal paste down while I look for our mounting screws. All right, here are our screws. Put one on opposite corners. Those are nice thumb screws, nice and knurled. Move our light source. There we go. Oh,
wow.
I dropped it in between the VRM heatsink and the CPU block. Should be able to grab it. It's like operator. Or operation, not operator.
Always better.
We got it. And it's gone again. Oh, and it's gone forever now. Here, I got it. I got this. Almost. There we go. It started. Whew.
How much, well,
Just until they stop turning is plenty. Plenty of mounting pressure. You're not in the hole.
shut. Oh.
Okay, we're good.
Now we gotta see.
Those, just route those to the back. One of these is,
Motherboard.
like it says, to the motherboard.
Alright, which is?
So on this, you're just going to put it in the
310
CPU fan, which I believe is just right here.
That's 4 pins.
Yeah, it's going to line up either way. You just line up that.
Oh, I see.
See how it's got the little keyway for it? Oh, let's get
Do you have a flash?
Let's see if we can get flash on there.
Perfect. Does it click? Or just...
No, it just presses in.
Okay. Let me make sure I got it in. That's probably it.
Yep, that's in. All right, our our CPU block is mounted. We've got our radiator mounted up front. We've got 2 top fans, 1 rear fan, all acting as exhaust. I think we are ready to move on to the next step. All right, we've connected both of our radiator fans. We'll worry about managing that cable in a little bit. Here's the RGB fan controller. It has a button built in on it, but this is going to be hidden. So what we got to do is wire the reset switch on the case into that header there. This goes to SATA power here. And then these 3 connectors connect to each of our fans on their RGB headers.
Motherboard?
And yes, this header does have to go to our motherboard. Okay, let's get our power supply mounted in the case. So as with any fully modular power supply, the benefit is that you get to only use the cables that you need. So we need 1 CPU power, that is this one here. We need 1 SATA power. Looks like he figured it out. Yep, he did figure it out on his own. Oh, we got a cat that just wants to get out. There. That is one of our CPU, or not, that is the CPU power cable. So the connector that says CM PSU needs to go into the power supply. Into one of those connectors there. Okay, and the last cable we need, or sorry, not the last cable, second to last is our 24-pin motherboard power cable, or the ATX power cable.
It's beefy. Or chunky.
So this powers the entire motherboard. So the side that has just the single block is the side that goes into the motherboard. So this other side that has the two connectors goes into the two biggest connectors here. You heard the click. It's in. I think we are ready to mount it in the case now. All right, make sure you mount your power supply case, fan side down so it can grab fresh air from our fresh air inlet here. As long as you're not mounting it on, as long as your case isn't resting directly on carpet, this is perfectly fine. If it is on carpet, obviously you want to flip it around so it can not pull in all the dust and pet hair and dead skin cells that find its way into carpet. For securing the power supply, we're just going to use the same 4 screws. They're the same 4 kind of screws that secured the motherboard to the case. Okay, right now we are installing the CPU power cable. Okay, now we're going to do the 24-pin motherboard power cable. Flip going towards your left. Say left? Yeah, it's your left. This one's always a little hard on the very first time. Actually, this motherboard's been installed, but the power supply cables are new.
That's seated.
Okay, I'm going to feel that clip there, make sure it sat perfectly, which it looks like it did. My bad. Looks like we needed to take off the first, second, and third, not second, third, and fourth. So we just did that. Get it back on there. There it goes. We heard that nice, satisfying click. Okay, our graphics card is seated. Pretty sturdy in there, too.
Relatively.
Okay, now we're ready to... Let's not put the power cables in it just yet. Let's route cables for our front panel. Let's lift it back up. And we got to route cables for our front panel I/O. So these are our front panel connectors.
What hole do you think we should go through?
These, since they're right here, we should go, up through here. Or, hold on, let me get a look up at the front.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Or we can go through here, like you were saying.
Yeah. Right here. Where they connect?
Up here.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so these you gotta be mindful of where you're going. So we have the power switch, the hard drive LED, and then the power LEDs. So when any of the LED ones, positive is going to be on the left. So the hard drive LED goes here on this.
Positive left, so this way?
That way.
Okay.
That goes on the lower two furthest, in here, in this guarded one. The very bottom two.
Okay.
And then the power LED, positive and negative, they're the 2 separate ones. Those go in the top 2 just above the hard drive LED.
What am I looking for?
Power LED,
negative and
positive and negative. Okay, so now we've got our front panel power switch, hard drive LEDs, and power LEDs connected properly. And we are ready for the USB headers. We'll route this HD audio connector. That'll go through here and up to the bottom left corner of the motherboard. That'll go up through here. Okay, and then this reset switch, we had to separate this one because we're going to be using the case front panel as the button to control our LED fans. So that's going to go to our fan controller that's routed somewhere here. We'll worry about that later. This needs to go, I believe, through that hole there. And then it's going to connect here. It's got a notch on it. Make sure you line up that notch with the notch that's right here. So yeah, just make a flip. And connect it. Just be careful not to bend any of the pins there. I heard a click. Okay. Not my favorite connector for this particular, or sorry, not my favorite header or header position for this particular type of connector. Usually they're down here, but that's what we kind of have to deal with this motherboard. Now, our HD audio connector that plugs in over here. Important thing to remember is that there's one blocked off pin. You got to line that up with the pin that's missing. Looks like it's in.
Okay.
All right, I think we're ready for GPU power now. All right, we're plugging in GPU power now. So one of them is going to go into the 8-pin. Let's use this one for the 8-pin since we separated the cabling on the other side.
This?
Yeah. So with this one, you have to line up. Yeah. Yes, that is what we're doing, but we'll do that with the other connector. So we have to kind of line them up like that because it has a little notch. Big old gorilla hands. Okay, so we now have both the 8 plus the 6-pin power cable for our graphics card. We are getting closer and closer to a test boot, but now we need to manage the mess of cables in the back. So we're going to get to cable managing. We're not going to bore you with all that because it takes a good little while because there's different ways you can route different things. So we're going to cut here. You guys will see this completely cable managed and we'll be ready for our test boot. Side panel's on. Don't worry about our cable management. Looks good. Looks the best cable management of 2020.
Not bad.
Everything's looking pretty good. I wish they would have done something different with the USB 3.0, but that's what we have to work with for now. This motherboard was free to him, so I'm sure he doesn't really care. All right, I think we're ready for the first boot. Go ahead and hit it.
Oh my god, I'm nervous.
If we did everything right. We got lights. Sick! I think our RGB fans are lighting up too. One of them is not. We'll figure that out. It's all right, we'll figure it out.
I didn't want troubleshooting.
Oh wow, we already got a post.
Wow.
It's gonna automatically go to the BIOS because there's no OS.
What's the main sound right now? The radiator?
Yeah, you just hear air moving through the fans. The stock EVGA fans are kind of loud. So we're at our BIOS. We see
Snappy.
our
RAM.
Our RAM. How many gigabytes? Let's go to easy mode so we can see everything. There we go. So we've got 16 gigs, 2 times of RAM. Looks like we're seeing both of our storage solutions. We got our Kingston 500 or 250 gig. We got our 1 terabyte Samsung SSD. Awesome. We are. Oh, you know what? Hit the reset button that's on the far right. We got modes. So we will have to troubleshoot just that one fan that's not wanting to light up. There's the rainbows. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that build with my brother. We're going to load up an OS on this thing. We're going to hopefully run some games. I don't think we'll be able to do that tonight. Hopefully he'll be able to do it before he has to leave in the morning. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed everything. I hope you enjoyed that brother build there. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe so you don't miss another video. Have a good day, and Merry Christmas, everybody.